We're live?
We're live. Hey,
Hey!
what happened with me?
Hello!
I froze. I'm frozen. It's over.
Nice, good start.
Good. Nice. Hello. Am I really here? Is this pre-recorded? Who knows?
Yes, pre recorded as of 5 seconds ago.
Good. Okay. How to?
My YouTube is struggling to keep up with that. It's fine. I just need the chat for that.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, how you doing, Eric? Welcome to the new year. Happy 2026. Woo!
Hey. Happy 2026. Best wishes to everybody. Oh my God, so much chat. Hello. Is Mark is not.
Did you get to enjoy any fireworks here in Sweden?
Me?
Is it like the Netherlands? But yeah, you. Where it's where they just like shoot off bombs for like 4 days straight before New Year's?
It's a lot less compared to the Netherlands. Whoa, what's going on? Is this my camera? I'm just trying every camera now. Oh, whoa, this is my webcam.
Don't share that one.
No, where's the makeup? No. It's a tiny Eric. That's kind of cute though. And we need this
it's
one.
adorable.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Hey, I'm back. Damn, that was so cute. Follow some. No, so the interesting part here in Sweden is people do shoot fireworks, but it's like 10 times less than what people would do in the Netherlands. It's very minimal.
Gotcha.
And so also the days leading up to, sure, you hear like a firecracker, or like, how do you say it? How do you actually say that? Vuurpijl? Fire arrow doesn't make any sense. Rocket? Bottle rocket?
Yeah, bottle rockets.
Bottle
the ones that go.
Yeah. So if you have like 2 or 3 per night on the days leading up to it, then it's quite a lot. And then during the evening itself, I don't know, people just start at midnight and then they quit at 15 minutes later, and then it's over, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty chill.
Yes.
The Netherlands, it's, you know how it is. It's nonstop. It's just explosions after explosions for days on end, and in the months leading up to it, it's every couple of hours, and then every 20 minutes or so, there's a nice big bang, and then the New Year's Eve itself, it's literally nonstop.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a plane, what is it called? Like a plaza in front of my house, and people love to congregate there and shoot off fireworks from that. And as you can see, that I've got slanted windows here, so my view is up, which means that the fireworks explode right in front of my window, and it's quite intense.
It's quite beautiful. Isn't Dahlia afraid of the fireworks?
She's not generally. When it starts getting more intense and more frequent at the start of the season, so to speak, then she gets a little bit antsy and a little concerned about it. But because it ramps up over time, over the course of a few weeks, she gets more accustomed to it and used to it. But then when midnight strikes and everybody's shooting off fireworks and they're exploding in front of the window, and there's sounds everywhere and whatnot, that gets a little intense. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So, but her and I chilled here at home this New Year's, and so I could hang out with her and keep her company. And she does enjoy watching them, as long as they just aren't right in front of her face when they blow up.
Yeah. So he hates fireworks. As soon as like one of those explosions goes off, she's like shaking and whining.
Poor thing.
Yeah. So even though it's a lot less here in Sweden than it is in the Netherlands, for her the stress it's still the same. And then
in theory, next year in the Netherlands, fireworks are going to be banned.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't follow the laws on that, but I know that as in like I don't follow what the laws are, but I know that people who participate in fireworks also don't give a shit about the laws. So I don't think it's going to be any less in the Netherlands next year.
Yeah, I remember, I think during COVID there was one year where they also had like a
vuurwerkverbod.
Yeah, a ban on fireworks, but it didn't change a single bit. Yeah.
No. In fact, it probably just makes it more interesting to the hooligans, because now not only do they get to see explosions, but they also get to, be hooligans and renegades and that sort of thing. So
good.
But
anyway, but glad
it's the same thing with
is here. And
With
everybody's
marijuana use in the U.S., there's tons and tons of people in the U.S. who use marijuana because, well, not entirely because, but in part because it is illegal and therefore more enticing. But then in the Netherlands, where it is mostly legal, much or far fewer people use marijuana. So prohibition never works. That's the rule here.
Yeah, I mean, but this is also like what big brain AFKs, whoever this guy is. I think the rule is that you can buy F2, F3 fireworks now, but if you have them, you can still use them. So that's like bullshit, right? That in 10 years you still have like, oh, nobody had them. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I bought these in the 80s, this bad boy.
Yeah, I still have them from my short trip over the border to Germany.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad everybody's here, everybody's safe, and at least looking at the chat, everybody's survived the.
Yeah, survivor bias though. The ones who didn't survive the fireworks aren't going to post in chat, are they?
Germany also banned fireworks? Really? Where do all the Dutch people purchase the fireworks in Germany then?
Yeah, we're certainly not going to go to Belgium. That's just absurd.
No. Okay, good. Anyway, let's get to the gist of it, because I also saw some
The meat.
The meat. I saw some interesting questions already coming by, and Mark and I, we prepared this live stream for the next 6 weeks, I think.
Prepared?
Maybe.
Did we?
Yes, we did. Even longer. We have like a whole list of topics we have to bash through and scan through. And
you want to share that list with me then? Because I'm coming in at this blind. I got nothing prepared at all.
Okay, good. That's
been spending my day working on process maps. Woo.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. No, but the last Tuesday, the 5th of January, even the 6th of January, depending where you lived. Well, it was the 5th, but thanks to time zones, in some regions it's the 6th, where we at least Dance finally announced our collaboration keyword together, which is quite exciting.
And we've been working on that for ages, haven't we?
For quite a while. I think we I think for close almost to a year or something.
And get close.
Yeah. And then we actually wanted to launch it earlier at the end of 2025, but because the 6HEV2 sort of got pushed forward, we decided we can't release them at the same time, and then we had to make a decision. And I think in the end it's better, because in this case we knew exactly that the 10 keyword would be in stock, which we now have, and it was sort of, I'm not gonna say when we're gonna start selling it or pre-selling it or how we're gonna do it, but it's an exciting. I actually have it here, and to be honest, I have been using it ever since I received it. It's nice. It's every time when I was on stream and I said like, hey, I used the 6HEV2, I did, but
that was a lie.
That was a lie.
Eric, you can't lie to the audience.
Well, I must say I really like the split spacebar. For whatever funky reason, the split spacebar I have isn't really working, and I don't know, I can't go back to a normal spacebar.
You've got one of those janky, EVT samples, right? Those are the samples you ever get.
Well,
you don't get finished products.
I got like a more recent thing, but we did like a upgrade for whatever reason, and now this thing isn't updatable anymore, and it's sort of.
Oh yeah. You need to get it flashed.
Yes.
With a new boot.
Yes. So it's not bricked, but it's not compatible with the utility. Anyway, the stance keyword.
So it is an early version. Then it's an EVT sample if it's got that needs a new bootloader.
Well, it's a DVT sample. It happened after DVT. Doesn't matter. Doesn't work anymore. Anyway, Dance keyword.
Just take a short road trip to Simon. I'm sure he'll help you out.
I told him we should meet at the middle. We should meet like exactly at the border. That's like for me
but those are two very different things, right? The border and the middle, those are not the same.
No. I mean, I think if you measure it distance-wise, it is sort of the same. But Simon being in Norway it's like horrible.
Have you looked at the topography of Norway?
Yeah,
There's no straight lines anywhere.
No, exactly. Yeah. But Simon is welcome to come over to the border. That's where we can meet at a safe distance. It's also that Norwegian people make a lot of fun of Swedish people. It's
they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's like what we Swedish do with Danish people. Anyway,
And what the Danes do with Germans, what the Germans do with Dutch, and what the Dutch do with Belgians.
yeah, right.
And everybody hates the French.
It always goes south. I guess if you are north of a country, you are just feeling superior, right? At least that's the general.
Well, you sit on top
consensus.
of them on the map. So
Yeah, and then I can imagine as soon as you cross the equator, it's the opposite around. The more south you are,
Maybe.
the more superior you are.
The only thing I know that is truly universal is the hate for British tourists.
Oh, British tourists, really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world that's a tourism place, they have a special place in their heart for the Brits.
Yeah.
Not
Anyway,
a nice place.
a lot of people think like, oh, at least what I've read online about the Dance keyboard, that hey, it's just a recolor or a little redesign of the ATHE, which in some ways it is, but in some ways it isn't. And one thing what I really like about this collaboration, and it's also because it's also the first time we do a collaboration at this caliber, right? Of course, we had like the Optimum case, and he's also a very big personality, let's say, but it's totally different, right? This is just from on a different scale, and we have like endless contracts and stuff, and then the whole experience this far, it's been actually amazing. It's very interesting. It's been a fun road this far, and one thing that really surprised me is how, and this is something I didn't really expect up front, how nitpicky Tense is about keyboards and his knowledge about keyboards.
More so than Optimum?
Well, Optimum is different, right? So Optimum was really keen on the details for the case, and he really wanted to get like this exact keycap color there, right? But Dance is more like...
So he's extremely particular on the aesthetics of it, because that was the whole purpose of his collaboration.
Yes.
That he is totally happy with the hardware of Wooting keyboards, but he wants that to match his aesthetic, and that there wasn't anything on the market that was exactly what he was looking for.
No.
So would you say that Tens is more... maybe nitpicky isn't the right word, but curious about the internals, that he wants the hardware to be specific to his intentions?
I think he was chasing sort of a certain feeling, and I think we were both surprised about the amount of customization we could offer him and the input he gave us. I think that was quite interesting, because he is...
So when you say feeling, we should pause for a moment here, because that could mean different things to different people. When you say feeling, do you mean how the keyboard is responsive in a game setting, or do you mean the feeling of it underneath your fingers?
Both. This is quite interesting. So it's both. So let's say on a technical level, hardware wise, it's the same keyboard as an ATHE, right? It has the same capabilities. You can change the same settings, and it has the same hardware inside of it on the PCBA. And there are some key differences with the Tense keyboard, where at least he and we focused on the feeling, because with the normal ATHE, right, there's like a PC plate, so it flexes a little bit more, and that's a feeling we pursued and we like. What Tense really wanted was like more of a harder end press, so we introduced a FR4 plate, I think a similar plate that is in a 60HE V2. And this is where you get a
same material,
same thing. And this way you get sort of a very interesting thing, where you have a gasket mount with a FR4 plate, and it's not the same as on the 6-stage V2. It's different because it's friction fit and gasket mount. It's a little bit different, but it's definitely noticeable. So your how I describe this feeling is that you are more in touch with your keyboard. So cars, right?
Okay.
I don't know anything about cars, but I now drive like a very dead car, which is fine. It drives on the road.
Nice.
And you have
Station wagon?
Like a little SUV, and you just smooth sail over the road, and then you're done with it. When I was younger, I had the opportunity to purchase a sort of rally car from a friend for dirt cheap.
Ooh.
And that car was
Nice.
very low to the ground, and you really had a feeling that you were in touch with the road. So every mistake you made, you would feel it.
You
And
can feel the potholes through the gas pedal, kind of thing.
yes, exactly. So you're more
Nice.
in touch with the road. And this, with the FR4 plate, I always have a feeling that you are more in touch, right? Because you have this more end feeling. So it's more pedal to the metal almost. It's not the same, but that's always how I have it in my mind. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it has an ever full plate. That's not in ATHE. And the switches are also different than the ones from the ATHE.
Before we move to the switches, I got a question for you on the FR4 plate.
Okay.
Is this something that somebody would be able to, if they already have an ADHE, would they be able to get an FR4 plate?
Yes, but we don't sell them. I think you can. I think there are DIY kits for the ATHE where you can have them as an FR4 plate. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but Wooting ATHE.
I know that at least one person in our Woot Hell Put group has an ADHE with an FR4 plate, so they must have got it commissioned from somewhere, or maybe it's a product that somebody has.
Toronto Keyboard Man. Oh, well, there are websites where you can buy FR4 plates for the ATHE, so they're all third party. Yeah.
Is that something that we'd be interested in selling separately? Is like a modding kit type of product?
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay.
That's maybe. Is it? Could be fun. But at the moment we don't have anything planned for a FR4 plate for the ATHE. Oh yeah, there you go. FR4 is available on AliExpress, Toronto Keyboard, some others. Yes, yeah. It's quite nice, and I don't know how. I assume those FR4 plates are just a copy of the PC plate, and that's why they are compatible and work. I don't know if we made any changes to like some minor structural details to make it better fit and work with the friction fit pad. That could be. Anyway, it has an FR4 plate. Fantastic. And I also think for the 6HE V2, it's a fantastic upgrade, because it also makes your sound a little bit more poppy, right? It's less that. Yeah, it's different style, different thing, and a different feeling. Then also the switches.
Which do you prefer?
Me personally, I think sound-wise, I would go for a PC plate, but feeling-wise, I would go for a steel plate. But I think FR4 plate is quite nice in the middle. But so with the original 6HE, right, we have a steel plate in there, and it doesn't give you very nice acoustics, but it does give you very nice hard bottom-out feeling. Yeah. And I think a FR4 plate strikes sort of a balance in between. Yeah.
Okay. So it's stiff enough that you get that feeling of the potholes in the gas pedal type of situation, but it's soft enough that you still get some of the benefits of a more refined sound.
I think that sums it up. If Chad sees, he's like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Yeah, carbon fiber. I tried it out, but that's also where you get a very. It is a stiffer plate, not as stiff as steel, I would say, but the sound is very soulless. It's lacking character, I would say. It's not even hollow. It's like almost. I don't know. It doesn't complement or whatever. It doesn't give it a unique sound. Whatever. It's very boring sound-wise, I guess. Soulless.
You know those audiophile charts that they post with like that squiggly line that it's supposed to match something, or I have no idea how those charts work, but they're very interesting to look at. We should make some of those for the different plate options. Be like, oh, if you want a poppy sound here with these notes, or if you want a low sound here with that, and that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, but the tricky part is what I'm just explaining. It's all my own opinion, right? And it's based on what I like or what I prefer, and like I guess.
Well, the same is true in the audiophile world. I mean,
yes.
The people who are big into that will absolutely tell you that there is a best, there is a way that it should be, but it's just preference at the end of the day. Yeah, it is, and that's fine, right? Beauty is an eye of the beholder. I always say so. But yeah, definitely carbon fiber is an option. Okay. Anyway,
back to the landscape. Finally switches. So we one thing that he really wanted is he really preferred the lighter L45 switches of the Lekker V2s. Around that time, we had like a whole when we talk with him, right? We sent him a lot of different configurations, what we could do and cannot do and couldn't do. And at that time, we didn't announce the Lekker tickets yet, even though we had them internally. And we gave him a different version of the Lekker ticket where they are like lighter with a longer spring, and then a different feeling where sort of the ending is, now I'm maybe starting to bullshit. The ending is a little bit stiffer, so you get like a very light touch feeling, and a very unique feeling. So it's like also a customized Lekker ticket switch, because aesthetically it looks differently. It's a totally different color than the Lekker ticket switch. It's catered to the keyboard. It has a well, I can actually show you here. It has a, well,
You got one with you?
Yeah, I have to find a puller. Maybe I have to find a puller. Do we have to find a puller? Puller. Oh, here we go. Oh.
And he's gone.
No, I'm back.
Oh, my stream must be very lagging.
I think so.
Oh yeah, it's not live anymore. Okay. All right. Well,
good. Let me get one out of here. Ooh, they're pretty stiff.
I think I have a Lekker ticket switch compared to. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, this is one of the heist switches.
One of the heist switches. Good. Do you actually have the heist switches? I never.
No.
No?
I snagged one of the yellow and one of the purple from the Taiwan office when I was last there.
Oh really? That's.
Don't tell anybody.
Good for you. Good for you. Oh my god, why can't I get this one out?
Wow. Those are the two that I have here.
Oh yeah, that's good. Oh.
So this is the yellow heist. And then gotta do that. Put my hand behind it. Come on, focus.
You know what? This puller is busted. There's no way I can get a switch out of it with a. It's a.
Aye.
Yeah. Oh well. Too bad. Well, you just have to believe me then. So I tried.
There's pictures on our Discord of the switches too.
Oh,
pretty sure.
Yeah. So it's actually it's pretty nice, and as you can see, the FR4 plate is also black, and it really adds to the sort of stealth aesthetic that he was pursuing. So the whole case is well, ABS. It's the PCR. We have PCR. It also has a unique.
Is it PCR? It's a post-consumer recycled plastic.
For the 8HE, I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we changed anything here to this formula.
Because if I recall correctly, we stopped using the PCR plastic for the 60HE V2 plastic version.
Yes. Yeah, but for the 80 we didn't change it, and also for here we kept the PCR thing, and so you would think that this case is black, and the case is black in a certain way, but it's also, and this is very cool. This is like a very tiny detail. The case, I don't know if you can see it. Can you? It's I don't have the best settings here. Ooh. Can you? No. Oh, there you go.
What are the best settings for?
Here we go. So you can see it very faintly, the red RGB lights through the sides. So the sides are actually not fully opaque. They're like a little bit transparent as well. So it's very minimal. You can also see it at the, even light shines through the bottom case here, but there's no way you can see it on camera with this bright light shining on it. Yeah, but trust me, there's a little bit light glow coming through the sides and the bottom case as well. And that makes it, I think, very unique and very cool. It's very minor. It's not annoying. It's not very obvious. But
So it's less translucent than the ADHE Ghost. Is that correct? So it is more opaque than the ADHE Ghost?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But it's not fully opaque. Oh, how do you say that? Opaque? Yeah,
Yeah, opaque. Yep.
yeah, exactly. And that's very cool. So combine it with the switch, the different play, the aesthetics. Also the keycaps are dye subbed keycaps. Well, you can see that the legends aren't shine through. They're white, and it has like some red kana characters on there. Yeah, and then of course some minor deeds has like dense Wooting here on the side, if you can see it. Is it somewhere now? Should have prepared this maybe. Oh, here you can see it very faintly. Dense
If you say so.
Here you go.
It's there.
Now we can see
there you go.
Fantastic. Wow. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic, and over time, right? Like I mentioned, it started with like a brainstorm, and we were like figuring out, hey, what can we do? What can't we do? Then we made like a whole range of different samples, and then he tried out many very different keyboards. And then I was like, oh, I like the sound of this, I like the feeling of this, and how can we combine everything? And then made like this whole Frankenstein thing, and I felt like, okay, boom, this is it, let's go for it. And then we made it. It's very fantastic, and it's a.
So I think when it comes to collaborations with influencers or content creators or that sort of thing, there is a fear for the consumer, and it's a very grounded one, which is to say that it's a cash grab, or that there is an influencer tax.
Yeah.
What is your response to that perspective?
It's a very
Putting you on the spot.
That's a very good question. I think yes, there is an influencer tax, right? Because you do a collaboration, and both parties now need to earn money from it, right? Because that's
it tends to get paid for this. There's no way around that. So it's got to come from somewhere.
no, exactly. It's not goodwill or anything, because you use this imagery and name. And I think the whole idea, right, about this collaboration is about collaboration in general. You want to reach an audience that you normally don't reach. And one thing that's kind of weird is all the collaborations we do are with partners and people that we know, like, hey, there's a big overlap with your community and our customers and who's interested. So we sort of do it as more of a experiment, seeing how it works, what it entails, because we as Wooting, right?
Yeah, what's it like working with them as a business?
Exactly, and you can see a lot of this. Bilsa is a fantastic example, right? Bilsa has like a new collaboration every month with whatever pro player, influencer, brand. That's very cool. And Razer also does it, right? I think they had like a Pokemon collaboration, which was fantastic, and
a Miku collaboration.
Miku, exactly, and. It's just very cool. Or what's the Aces with like the Zaiwu collaboration. And I think what's very interesting is what I always like with keyboards is that you try something new aesthetically, design-wise, that you normally wouldn't do, and that way you get like a very fun product with a lot of character. Because our keyboards, even though we trying to sort of we trying to make them that they are like friendly to everybody and non-intrusive. And then when you look at the Uwu, right, we had a lot of freedom to go more colorful, playful, and whatever. And with a collaboration, it's the same thing. You just find a person that you like, that you think, hey, this is a decent match, and this makes sense. And then you make something good. And one thing I was afraid with Dance that it would be just like a simple recolor of the ATHE, and that would have been boring, I would say. And one thing also with Dance where I was really afraid of is that for him it would be just like, okay, this is just another brand, I'm just gonna do this, whatever, they slap my name on it and I get money from it, and that's about it. And that everything would go through his management, whatever. So I was very pleased that all this input actually came from TENS and not because his management wanted this or this is good for him. And
yeah, that they're not looking at, okay, what does his audience prefer from a marketing standpoint and a reach and blah blah blah, and what do they think sells well? No, it's about what TENS specifically has as his preference.
Yes.
But I think, well, two things are true. One, that I think that TENS' management is in tune with the fact that his audience respects TENS, and it is through that perspective that they agree that the best way to promote that product or to present that product is by way of, okay, what is it that TENS specifically enjoys and likes. And then I think something else that's really worth mentioning is that we did not reach out to TENS. TENS reached out to us.
Yeah.
He said, I love your keyboard. I use it all the time. Let's work together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also why we said, like, okay, let's do it, because the thing is, like I mentioned earlier, for us it's also a experiment, right? How does it work? How does the world work? How does it normally operate? And that is some experience we gather inside, and we can also see, once we start selling it, who's actually purchasing it. Are we hitting certain sales numbers? Is this interesting to look for other future collaboration, or was this like a nice sideway for us? And yeah, it's just nice, experimenting, doing something new, and it always excites me. And
I think that piece of it is something that is the same with the Optimum collab, in the sense that, well, I don't know if Optimum reached out to us or if we did to them. I'm not sure about that. But in both cases, with Optimum and the TENS, the product that they use is something that they actually use and they like to use, and they wanted it through their influence, because they are influencers, wanted to build something that is unique to them through that.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even know where this Optimum collaboration came from. It's probably just Carlo hanging out with Ali on Discord. It's like, hey, can we have an opportunity to make a cool case? Do you want to have something, have a say in this? I think that's sort of how it sort of went. Or maybe it was like, at some point Carlo was in touch with him and he jokingly mentioned that this is a possibility. Then we started exploring this, and the idea just stuck. And of course, it's totally different skill, totally different type of product. And
well, I think if we look back to years and years ago when the 60HE, the original one, launched, the two YouTubers that really stick out in my mind as having been champions of this product, and therefore were instrumental in its perspective in the market, are Bad C-Tech and Optimum. So with the 60HE, those two have been with us, so to speak, from the start, and therefore they've got, they just have a really good perspective, and through that have had a lot of opportunity to have lots of communication with us, with not just the product development team, but also on the marketing side and just leadership in general.
Yeah, and that's yes, exactly. And one thing that's also very interesting is you just cannot do a collaboration with anybody, because we also internally thought about, hey, should we do something with Bad C-Tech? But Bad C-Tech is also a person who, his integrity is, it's not that Ali's integrity is very important to him, but Ali has like a track record of making cool peripherals that he spearheads. And but for Brian, for example, he reviews a lot of different Bad C-Tech. He reviews a lot of keyboards, and one thing that you don't want is that you give the impression that, hey, because you have this collaboration, that's why this keyboard is superior or better than the rest. So there is definitely a chance where you lose sort of your sense of objectivity, even though you're still objective.
So there is a conflict of interests there, but that doesn't mean necessarily that there is bias there as well.
No.
However, because the conflict of interest definitely exists, it becomes something to navigate. And one of the ways that I found really cool about how Optimum has navigated that is he does have an affiliate link with us, but any time that he mentions Wooting in a video, or whether he's talking about his collaboration for the case and keycaps, or just talking about other keyboards, he specifically does not use his affiliate link in the comments of that of that video, and I think that's really interesting because that is him saying, yes, I benefit from the overall market growth of Wooting, let's call it, but he's not getting a kickback for sales attributed to a particular video that is discussing that product. So I think that's a really unique and thoughtful way of navigating that conflict of interest.
Yeah, I think so. And then of course with Tense there is absolutely no conflict of interest because he's just a personality, influencer, streamer, and it's not that he needs to be objective about keyboards. He can say like, hey, this is the best, coolest thing.
Oh, from that perspective, yeah. He doesn't review other products as far as I'm aware. So
no, exactly, yeah. And so overall, I think from our end, it's a very interesting experience, and yeah, the keyboard itself, the cable looks nice, everything fits aesthetically nice together.
This is the first time that we've ever done any kind of red colorway on a product.
I think so. In this sense, yeah. So definitely.
In any sense, has there ever been a red product of any kind from Wooting?
Well, I've seen red wrist rests, but I think that those are not only in Turtle samples. Yeah, no, and that way, yes, it's yeah, but I also wouldn't call it red because red is just more like an accent color, right? It's still prominent.
Sure.
Stealth, dark, shaded.
But even as an accent, that has never been part. In fact, the only thing I can think of is this right here has some red on it.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, the tense strap. Yeah, no. And of course, the keyboard. One thing that is also a nice addition, that the keyboard is preloaded with all Tense his settings and his preferred way of using and using the keyboard. And even if you do like a factory reset, whatever, it will always have like by default the Tense key. Of course, you can override it. You can delete it from your keyboard and. Not that you want to, right?
And if you have an ADHE that's not the 10s edition, you can also just install that profile onto your keyboard. I think if you go to wooting.io/ambassadors/10s, I believe is the link.
Yeah, and well, I think we forwarded the page to the new 10s keyboard page.
Oh, is it just wooting.io/10s now?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that got live yet or not.
Yeah, there you go. And that's very cool. So even if you do like a factory reset or whatever, it still is the Tense.
With a custom RGB profile too.
Everything.
Not just the rapid trigger and tachyon mode and that sort of stuff.
No. Even
is tachyon mode enabled by default for the 10s?
Yes. Yeah, of course. He needs the best, right? He needs the best. And the packaging is fantastic as well. It's something we don't show. We have a tradition of not showing packaging. Even though, so who
he showed it on his stream.
He did. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So who here received the 6-stage EV2 or ordered it and received it? Good.
I didn't order it, but I did receive it.
Oh, do you like the packaging, Mark?
I think it's fantastic. I had a lot of fun with it. I still think that we should get a resident magician to do a packaging deep dive on all the cool things that he put into that packaging. Not necessarily all the Easter eggs, but just all the mechanics of how that cardboard works in that way. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's also interesting that our packaging designer is a hobbyist magician, so that's why you can do like all the magic tricks with the packaging. It's very cool. He's so knowledgeable about it as well. It's I talked about him about flutes, about how cardboard waves sort of are and how you need to cut and rotate your packaging on the sheet to get like more structural integrity or less if you want, right? And that you can even have a mixture of it, and it's very, very interesting and very technical. And even though with packaging we think like, okay, it's a box that you have to fold together and then that's it, but it's very nuanced, because if you can make it out of one piece of cardboard, it's more cost efficient, but you don't want to go too big, right? Because then it's very cost inefficient. So there's very a mixture of moving parts, and of course there's this experience of opening and unboxing, which needs to fit, and it needs to protect the product in the best way possible. It needs to be as cheap as possible because we don't want to waste money on packaging, and then it needs to be maximum this size, and so that we can cramp so many MasterCard without going over this weight, so it stacks a pallet this way, and then we can put it in a container easily, and it's, oh my god, there's so many.
You want to hear something funny about the packaging?
Oh, sure.
So we have been, over the last couple of months, we've been doing a refurbishment project where you can get Wooting keyboards that are refurbished. So these are products that return to us, that we clean them up and whatnot, and then we can resell them as used products, which is great. Wooting.io/outlet. Excellent. Take a look there. Wooting products at discount. Anyway, the funny part of this story is sometimes when a product gets returned, the product itself is in perfect shape, but the packaging is not, whether that's been beat up by the parcel carrier, or like when they open it up, maybe they rip something. So the packaging has to be replaced. Well, we got a bunch of the boxes sent from our supplier for the product boxes to our fulfillment center where we do the refurbishment. But the people that were doing the refurbishment could not for the life of them figure out how to finagle that package in a way that it like creates the product box in that way, and it was a real challenge for them.
It is.
So it is not easy to fold that. And
no, you need to fold it in a very specific order and way.
Yeah, we had to get like an instruction manual for how to fold the cardboard from our supplier.
But it's also interesting because I remember when we were editing this factory tour video, where it's also part about packaging with the ATG and with the raw footage, you can actually see somebody folding the packaging and how quick they can do it. And I can imagine if you don't know how to do it, and it's like one big long sheet's like, okay, where do you start? Is it this and
if you do 1,000 of them a day, like you do them like this, it's no problem. But if you're given a flat piece of cardboard, it's like, all right, this folds into the product box, figure it out. Is a little bit trickier.
And it is pretty stiff, so you need to handle it pretty rough as well, right? But not too rough because you don't want to damage the new packaging. Yep. Better to order pre-folded boxes.
No way, because shipping those is ridiculous. We'd have to use a pallet instead of just like a normal shipment.
Yeah, that's
no way.
That's true. Yeah, it's a nice puzzle, right? Nice exercise. No, but there's a lot more to packaging, and if you sort of have a understanding of how it goes and what comes into account, then the next time whatever product you unbox, you think like, whoa, this is probably done because of this and that and blah blah blah. And then every little part has its own purpose and meaning for it, and
Stephen 94 Jan has a comment here. With all due respect, the design is very clever, but if somebody has to explain how it works, it's not great. I wonder how many people actually open them correctly without knowing beforehand. Not me. But what I'm referring to is not the opening of the box, but the assembling of the box. Although I did see, I don't remember which YouTube creator it was, but one of the Lecker Ticken packages, they didn't realize how you can like push in on the package to release the mechanism that locks it, and so they ripped it to pieces, and that made me very sad.
Yeah, that's tricky because sometimes you can be too clever with your packaging, and I think with the Lecker Ticken, it is sort of reaching the point where it's too clever, and I just have a feeling that most people, maybe over 50%, just rip the cardboard off and then have like that plastic container instead of doing it the intended way. And that's actually a very good point, Stephen, is that the unboxing itself needs to be, of course, straightforward and as logical as possible. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and there's one thing to have fun Easter eggs to discover inside of it, but there's another thing to have people not realize that there is more to it than what they have opened. That was something that we figured, like a case foam or something in one of the module packaging was underneath the piece of where the module itself sits, and that some people didn't find that because of that. So they're like, where's my case foam? Well, it's in the package. You just had to dig deeper. So those things, it's easy to say, you can think about it before it gets shipped, but until people get their hands on it and you have the full breadth of what the customer experience is, it's hard to forecast that kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. You need to indeed make it as foolproof as possible. And especially with a keyboard, right? You are just excited and you feel, oh, I really want to get to it. So you unpack it, nobody's reading the manual, whatever is in the box, and they just throw the box
Manuals,
away.
what are those?
Yeah. I mean,
also, there is not a manual on the box, there's a QR code.
That's true. And I mean, at least for me, I always, when I have a new product, it always depends on the pricing, of course. It's of the level of the expensive, but I just keep it for at least a month and then I throw it away. Because I also feel like, oh, maybe I need to, I don't know, ship it back, send it back, figure something out that I missed. But after a month, if I haven't looked in the packaging, it can probably be gone.
Heidi mentioned that she doesn't know how to open the postcard, so I'm gonna do a live demo. Hopefully it works out
how do you
correctly.
know how to open a postcard?
So this is the postcard, the 68 GV2. Not spoiling anything now because it's been in people's hands. You open up this little flap up here, and if you hold it on the sides, like so, then the postcard comes up as you open it. Look at that. That's so cool. And then you can pull it out and have the postcard. There you go, Heidi. Just for you.
There you go, Heidi. There you go. Wow. Fantastic. Cinema, wow. And there are stickers in there, don't forget. Don't forget about the stickers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Surprise.
Let's see what I pull. Let's see what I pull.
Oh my God! You get a shiny. That would be
Do I
nice.
get one of the special ones?
Yeah.
I did not get one of the very special ones, but
Oh.
these are the stickers I got. Woo!
Oh, where's your Wooting sticker?
I don't have a Wooting sticker.
Hey, then you have the EVT sample there. Or DVD
Yeah,
sample?
true. Yeah, this is one of the ones from our company gathering.
I was also very surprised that there were Wooting stickers in the actual packaging. Okay, anyway, so for the lekker thicker things, I'm just gonna do it once. Also, I think this packaging looks fantastic and it is very nice. And you cannot pull it out like this. It's stuck, right? So you have to. It also says it here that you have to push it there. So you just push it, and then the flap sort of unflaps, and then you can pull it out, and it's very simple like that. And then you can keep it nicely. I mean, you can still then recycle this or throw away or keep, right? And then if you wanna reassemble it, you just slide it in together, and then you pull it in, push it in, whoop, and now it's stuck again. It's very clever. Yeah, it's very nice. But this is where it sort of gets to the point where it is pretty difficult to unpack, because I can imagine that people think like, oh, here's like a little flap. I can maybe like pull this thing out because that's a reasonable thing, right? So people would pull this flap out, or people think like, hey, this thing sticks out. Oh, I can probably like tear it off like this, or I'm just gonna, rip it off because it's this cardboard thing doesn't matter anyway. I'm just gonna go for this switchback, and and that's fine. And we're also aware of it internally, but I do think this is a very nice packaging. At least aesthetically, it looks very pleasing. Quite like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and for some people, they just don't care. When you think of like opening presents as a kid on Christmas, there's some kids who will rip the shit out of the present and just get at it. And then there's some that'll like take the little piece of tape and get the little finger under it and pull it open and then unfold it, and different strokes.
Yeah, I don't remember his name on top of my mind, but there was like this Fortnite influencer personality, and he got like the Wooting 2HE, and he just, instead of, because all our boxes are like pizza boxes, right? They open from the front. He just ripped the side of and pulled the keyboard out.
Even the 2HE?
He did it with
Isn't
the
that
2HE.
The Lecker Addiction style box?
No. He did it with the 2HE. So he just ripped the side off and pulled the keyboard out. That was pretty insane. Yeah, crazy. I'm feeling I want to say Jared or something, but I'm not sure. It wasn't Jared.
I don't follow Fortnite at all.
No, you don't?
No. Too cartoony for me. I can't get over it. Same with like Marvel Rivals and the finals and all that sort of stuff. I can't handle it. Overwatch, Valorant, it's all just give me like Arma. That's the kind of military sim that I enjoy.
68.
So you're more like a Battlefield.
Yes, but honestly, I've been playing a lot more Arc Raiders than I have Battlefield. Actually, I never bought Battlefield. I only played the beta, which I did enjoy. We played it together. It was fun. But Arc Raiders has been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying that consistently. Raquel is right. I only have time for the factory. The factory must expand.
Sure. I think it was it's Jarian. That's the guy. He really did the box dirty and horrible.
Oh man. Also, I do want to jump back up in the chat here. There was somebody who asked the question. Too greedy. Too greedy. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. He said, so are we really not talking about the knobs? And the question that I have for you, Eric, then is, what's the status of the knobs? Where are we at with that?
Just throw it to me. This stream is supposed to be spoiler free. I think we're in a very good stage with the knobs. But
nice non-answer.
I don't know. I know that we're not going to make Q1. That's definitely maybe Q2. But I know that Carl is really aching to do an update. About this, and I think we're at a very fast stage when it comes to packaging design, where samples are being made. So we're really on the brink of producing these, and I'm really looking forward to the knobs. That's definitely going to be it's not going to be like a new next coming of Christ like the 6H V2 is, but it is super cool how it's compatible with any ARM keyboard that we have, and that you can make a whole DJ deck out of your keyboard, and you can bind different things on the knobs, and it's I think this is a very good development where it comes with what you can do with Hall effect on a keyboard, and it's very cool. Yeah.
So I think this ties in very well to a comment that Mythical 8071 had, which was, does Wooting have a long way to go? For example, more features and improvements, or is it almost at peak? If so, what are the future improvements or features that could be added in the future? Lots of future there. And the answer is that there is lots of opportunity to innovate. We are definitely not done with keyboards. There's a bunch that we have in the pipeline. Knobs is one of those for sure. That's a hardware level feature that we're really excited about. And then we've got lots of software features as well that, and I'm not going to be leaking anything for the software team, so rest assured y'all can breathe easy. But I know that their pipeline is, they've got a list of things that they want to add very soon. And then they've got an enormous list of stuff that is on their radar of things that are very interesting and very exciting. And I've got a couple of my my most desired features that are coming soon, and I'm looking forward to them.
One thing I really dislike these days at Wooting is how impactful we've become, and a lot of competitors are watching our every move, right? And as soon as we introduce something, they are just...
the mission statement is like literally want to impact the keyboard industry or something like that. That's
sure. But let's say why I dislike it, right? So now if we have a very cool idea or concept internally, normally what we used to do is we would share it in a very early stage, talk about it, our process, involve the community, get feedback, right? And that's something that we've noticed where we can't really do that anymore, because as soon as we introduce something or talk about a new concept or an idea, there is a competitor who thinks like, oh, sounds good, let's also make it. And then they implement like a very crappy version, and then at least that's...
They just get something out the door like that. Yeah. It doesn't have the refinement that we demand from our products, whether that's hardware or software, but they get it out the door. And then when we do finally release the product that we envisioned, the system, the service, the whatever, that is the most beautiful thing that we can think of, it's like, yeah, but somebody else did it first. And sure, it's shit, but they did it first. So that's really...
I'm not even afraid if other people do it first. That's not even the thing I'm worried about. But it's more like if they introduce something haphazardly or like half-baked, it can feel like a gimmick instead of being something very impactful, we think. And then as soon as we come with, it's like, oh, but that's kind of labeled already out there. So, yeah.
Or they botch the implementation in a way that that screws up how we wanted to present something to the market. I've got a concrete example of that. When Razer added SnapTap, they did it in a way that was exceedingly simplistic to the point where it became not at all skill based. For specifically for Counter Strike, then with the counter strafing, that they made it so easy that obviously it had to get banned from using in Counter Strike because it removes the skill from the game. But what we had put forth with Rappy Snappy is that it's still using a depth based decision making algorithm. And so there's still a skill component to it. And so we felt during the development of Rappy Snappy that it would not kind of break what Valve's ethos is of having a skill based component to counter strafing. But because Razer launched their version of SnapTap first, then our Snappy Tappy, which is slightly, but in our opinion, significantly different, just got wrapped in with that and also got banned from CS.
I think indeed Rappy Snappy was a very good example that got screwed over because of SnapTap. And one thing that's very interesting because as soon as Razer came out with SnapTap, some people were very surprised how quickly we added as a CD to the utility. And the actual
within
reason,
24 hours.
Yeah, and
awesome.
And people are like, wow, Wooting is so fast, whatever. But the funny thing is, Simon actually built it months ago as an experiment, and then we came to the conclusion like, oh, this is like cheating, and it's not good. So let's put it in the fridge. So he could easily just pull up a branch and like, poop, okay, it's done in the utility. Let's go buy. Just need some UI elements, and yeah. But it's, I mean, it's again nothing bad against Razer, because I do think it is good that they came with something that added to Hall effect keyboards, like, or analog keyboards, let's say, on their own. So that is very cool, and I can only applaud it, even though if it's a little bit controversial at times. But
they're at least pushing stuff forward and creating features. In that sense. So that's certainly commendable.
Yeah, and of course, competition really drives innovation at an accelerated rate,
And the controversy was excellent for sales. Let's just be real. All those eyeballs on that whole situation and things blowing up and people having all kinds of opinions about it. That was great. We definitely saw the results of that on our analytics.
I think it was a win-win-win for everybody except for Valve, who had to
except for Valve,
weird anti-cheat detection for SnapTap.
That's all right. Valve's got plenty of wins that they don't need. They don't need this one.
No, right? Yeah, good for them. It's and will we be Wooting mouse in the future? Oh, mice! Oh, that's such a cool topic. It's also very difficult, and I mean I've told this many times on streams already, and when people ask me we have so many cool ideas for mice, but making a mouse, it's also very difficult, right? There's so many shapes, and the way innovation is now being pushed forward by these companies, where you want more high precision sensors, let's say, with very accurate scanning that's not really taxing on your CPU, and then making them as light as possible when it comes to the competitive esports and FPS gaming scene. And in other genres, you want like more buttons, right, or whatever.
Well, the sensors at this point are, and I am not so deep into the technicals of it, but my understanding is that the sensors in mice, at least at the high end level, are, I mean, as good as could ever be needed in that. That it's, we're talking about microscopic differences. And so what's left then is this, and what I always like to say, it's a race to the bottom in price and weight. And those are two things that just aren't interesting to compete in. We're not trying to undercut our competitors. We want to make a compelling product that has its own value to it. So the only way that we would produce a mouse is if we can bring something new to the mouse market. And if we had something along those lines, we would definitely keep our mouths zipped about that, because that is extremely valuable information. So
no spoilers. So yeah, and I think that's also the Wooting way, right? We have cool ideas for many different products and different categories, but we want to add something to the space, right? Either disrupt that scene or add something to it. And we're still not done with keyboards. And it doesn't mean because we're not done with keyboards that we can't shift to other ventures. It's
well, it does to an extent because of the size of our company and our capacity of our hardware development team and our software development team. There's only so many people that only have so many hours in the day to be able to work on projects, that it does mean that if we are focused on one thing, that we don't necessarily have the bandwidth. And this was definitely true years ago. Maybe this is less true now, but certainly years ago it was absolutely the case. You work on one project because that's all you got, and you just don't have the people to do more. Yeah. And I've also seen with respect to mice that a lot of people are just like, well, it doesn't matter if you make an interesting product, just make a mouse that connects to the utility software. Y'all software is awesome. It's great. Just do that, and that's enough. And to that, I say it's not enough, because it is very straightforward. Maybe not easy, but it's straightforward for a competitor to just fix their shitty mouse software and just do it better. And that's not a moat in the classical sense of what, from a business perspective, why you would want to do that. So I don't think that's enough.
No, and one thing that you can see, especially a lot of software for peripherals, I have a feeling that the last couple of years it's been taken way more seriously, and these companies are really doing the best, to update them. And these big companies like Razer and Logitech, they have so many convoluted systems that everything ties in together and needs to tie in. For them, it's very difficult to make something either new, fresh, or whatever. But if you look at a company like Pulsar, right, that's pretty fresh, pretty new, focused. They do offer pretty decent software. I wouldn't say
the term for that, I believe, is developer debt, where you've created all these things and now you have debt because you have to fix, maintain, or repair them to be able to get new features out there. I think that of all the major recent keyboard launches, that a web interface has become an expectation from the community. And it is reasonable to expect that same expectation will start to transition over to other peripheral softwares, whether that's mice or headsets or things like that. So I think that those are coming. I couldn't tell you the timeline. I don't work for those companies, but if it's not on their radar, then they should put it on their radar, because that's an oversight if it's not.
And one thing that is quite interesting is because you go to events and you talk to other businesses and to other people and with certain visions, and everybody says like, just make a mouse, right? Slap a Wooting logo on it. It's gonna sell like hotcakes. You're gonna make so much money. And it's like, that kind of makes sense. Or
if we were a publicly traded company, we would have a fiduciary duty to do exactly that.
You probably would have a headset now. I mean, and that's also the end goal, right? As soon as my headset breaks, I need a new one. Let's make a new Wooting headset so I can get.
I just got this Sony like last year or something like that. It's great. Sony X4, XM4, or something like that. It's great.
All the weird
would recommend.
Yeah. So as maybe after my next Pulsar mice breaks, maybe I'm gonna maybe it's time to make a mouse then, so I can get an infinite amount of keyboards and mice
of janky pre-production samples that don't work quite right. You can't update the firmware on.
It's too bad. I mean, the Wooting one I have still works perfectly fine. That's interesting. Yeah, and 2HE lacquer edition always goes hard.
Still sealed in the box.
But does it work? Do you know it? Does it work?
I have no idea. It's sealed in the box. I mean, I assume so. But
I mean, let's. In 20 years, you could sell it like 100,000.
Someone once offered me 600 euros for it, and I turned them down because I knew what I had.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Damn. I would have.
Then started selling them at the Respawn store for 99 euros. Could have made bank, but
there you go. At some point, we were also joking when the 6HE was so popular, right? And we couldn't keep up with demand. We always had like a little spare stock left for replacement returns, whatever. And at some point, we were joking like, hey, people are actually selling keyboards for 600-700 euros on eBay. Why aren't we selling these on eBay for 400 or 500 euros? That would be very scummy. Yeah. Okay. Wooting controllers will be the first before the mouse. Wooting controller would be very nice. That that would be a very cool device. I do think that's even more complicated, making a controller, because a controller, right, you have so much tech in there these days. You have like things with gyroscope, or the Steam ones, the Steam Deck as well. You know, they
I
have
love
like
my
the
Steam controller.
yeah, they have like that trackpad thing, and you have like this rumble feature, and it needs to be compatible with all, you know, with your PlayStation on all different devices. It needs to work over Bluetooth. It has a battery, and there's so many ifs, buts, and things that it's quite tricky. And you are also subject sort of to licensing. If you want to make it work on an Xbox, for example, on a PlayStation, you have to, you know, chase these leads like, hey, how can you make sure that our devices are compatible here, and pay these licensing fees, which probably aren't the end of the world, but it's another thing that you need to discover, right? So even though a controller, I can see that we can bring there a lot of innovation and new things. It's also very tricky because you have to, first of all, follow a set standard, and then the worst part is I don't think you can actually invent a lot of new things or add new things to it, because PlayStation would be like, no, not allowed, fuck it, no. So then, you know, you're limited to.
Who cares about PlayStation? It's the only reason to get a controller is because there's some computer games that work better with controller. That's what the Steam controller is for. I bought my Steam controller in 2015, and I still use it.
Yeah.
Pretty regularly too. It's an amazing machine, and I am so excited for when the Steam Controller 2, which is also called Steam Controller for some stupid reason, when that releases, I will be buying 2 of those.
I'm a big fan of Google Stadia controllers. Those are also pretty decent.
Okay.
It's and the best part is I got them totally for free. So at some point it was like this
Nice.
deal.
How'd you do that?
Well, so at some point I needed a new Chromecast because I still had a dumb TV, and my old Chromecast was, I don't know, I had it for years, broke. I felt like, oh, there's now this new 4K thing. Let's get this new 4K Chromecast. And there was this deal where you could get like a 4K Chromecast and a Stadia controller, because, you know, then Stadia came up and you could play like your games through Steam or through.
It's a shame that Stadia died. That was, it was before its time.
Well, actually, it's not a shame that it died, because I purchased that controller with that Google Chromecast and Google Cast. What's the name again? Google Cast, whatever. And I purchased it for like €100 or something, and then I got like I could choose a game on Google Stadia for $70 as a gift, so that was quite nice. I played a game, didn't enjoy it, right? Didn't really like it, so I only used the Stadia for my PC gaming. And a year later, Stadia quit working, and they were like, you know, everybody who purchased whatever, you know, here's your money back. It's like, you can keep it. So I had like a free Chromecast, or Google, a free Chromecast, 4K, a nice Stadia controller, and I got to experience Stadia for a while. So that's very nice. I still have the Chromecast. I don't use it anymore. I still have it, but it's very nice. Yeah. Also like the controller still. Yeah. But the Steam Deck is also very nicely made. Yeah.
I was thinking about getting a Steam Deck this winter. I ended up building an NAS instead of getting a Steam Deck. So, and I think that was the right choice. But
A NAS.
I was thinking about it.
I mean, a Steam Deck, it's the ultimate dad console thing if you have a Steam backlog, because you cannot play the newest game, only some indie games. Like if you want to play the newest AAA games, it's not gonna work, or you have to, you know, link it over Wi-Fi. And
Yeah,
then
but
do
who wants to play the newest AAA games anyway? They're all trash these days.
Well,
Double A is where it's at.
I mean, I for example, I play during my whole Christmas break. I only played on my Steam Deck, and I played Hades 2 a lot, which was fantastic. Yeah, that's
Not
why.
AAA though, that's double A. Or maybe even India. I'm not sure about Hades. The definition is a little bit.
Are they indie?
questionable.
I do think
I
they
don't know.
are. They are their own publisher, so in that sense they are independent. But yeah, I guess the term indie is also all over the place. Yeah, but
It's very murky. Yeah.
it is. But the Steam Deck is fantastic, especially for a small child, right? You can just lay down and Steam Deck and then throw it away, and then in a couple of hours come back, and yeah, it's very fun. It's also good for your neck.
Nice.
It's like. Okay, good. Anyway, sidetracking here. Any burning questions from the chat that we need answering before we end this puppy?
Not a burning question per se, but Steven 94 Jan said, if override, I would love remap to show what is actually in advanced keys instead of people wondering why showing what it's now doing. And it was responded to by our developer to say that feature is already in the pipeline with a release soon TM. So I just wanted to shout out that if you have feature suggestions, throw them out there, and we will definitely listen to them. And perhaps it's already on its way.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do agree. I do agree on this. Indie is sort of a vibe, and you have like, in my mind, indie would always feel like, hey, you are a independent developer and you have your own funds. You're not reliable on third party, either publishers or money. And I think having no publisher, that's sort of not really. Only a few indie games get successful and can make it work without a publisher. So having a publisher these days, that still makes you indie as long as the publisher doesn't influence, your game itself. And then, then the only thing that we would say, like, hey, if there's any outside investors in your thing, so you have like totally free control, then you are indie. And yeah, it's very tricky. So
it's tricky because with the lack of publishers, there are a handful of viral phenomenons that do succeed without any kind of external publishing, but those are the exceptions to the rule. And a lot of people, I think, don't realize what value and benefits having a publisher does provide to you as a game developer.
Yeah,
I'm not at all very well versed in it, but I do recognize that it is exceedingly difficult to get your game to be viewed by people, and if people don't see it, then they'll never play it. So that's I know that's something that Steam as a platform is aware of, and that they have recently taken some actions towards making that more discoverable, which is good. I mean, they take a 30% cut, so they better be doing something for that money. But it seems like they are recognizing that this is a problem.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think, what's the Expedition 33? People say that it's a fantastic indie game, fantastic AA title. In the end, it is a fantastic title, but in my books, it wouldn't be independent because first of all, they have a publisher, but then again, publisher is okay.
Didn't they publish it themselves though?
No, they didn't.
Or no, they funded it themselves through loans and
that
sort of thing. No?
Yeah, but there are also external
spreading misinformation.
Yeah, there are also like external investors there, who pump money in there, and that's fine, right? So it's the line of being independent. It's very tricky. And another good example is Dave the Diver, right? People also think like, oh, that's a typical indie game, but it's just a game being made by a studio that existed for many years who make games for other publishers and other contractors or whatever, right? And then they made their own game with a publisher and money from another company, and it looks like an indie game, but it's not an indie game, right? It's
I bought Expedition 33 for from the winter sale, and my intention was to play it over the holidays, and I did not get around to it. I was playing other games still.
Factory, right?
Yeah, that, and I did complete Ori Will of the Wisps, so I got 100% on that. I beat it on hard mode, got all the collectible items and whatnot, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Pretty proud of that. That was kind of tough. Not normally a platformer game, but I really enjoyed that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good. Will the tense clap switches and keycaps be available separately? No, we're not gonna sell the parts separately. It's like a one and done deal. It's a totally package. You're gonna be like tense or not? It's not half baked. Not allowed. Yeah.
Yep.
I think a lot of people.
And that's one of the selling points to it too, right? It's a limited edition product. We're only making 20,000 of them, or we have only made, and we will not make any more. And so once it's gone, it's gone. So if you want that experience, then you gotta get the keyboard.
I mean, in
of course,
that
if you
regard,
already have a Wooting keyboard, is it worth getting a whole new Wooting keyboard just to get the 10s version? No, probably not. I mean, unless money doesn't mean anything to you, which for some people that's true, but for most people that's not. So, don't break the bank for it. It's still just a Wooting keyboard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm now just thinking, because my sense of like only using internal money, and if you publish your own games, is also not a good requirement for indie games, because then Counter-Strike would also be like an indie game, right?
Okay. It is murky. I think Anders said it best. It's a vibe thing.
Yeah, because I don't agree that an indie game per se does have to be made by 1 to 5 people or a very small team. Even though those games in general, the less people who work on it, the more fantastic it is. Because Balatro, for example, it's a fantastic game made by one person. Or Fez, right? Fez, also very good example of this.
RimWorld, excellent game, started by just one developer.
Yeah, really?
It's my favorite game of all time. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, didn't know. That was
Since then, it has expanded to a small team, but it was originally just one.
Yeah, I mean, RimWorld definitely has a
that's indie for sure.
Has a indie vibe. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. My God, it's so old. 2013.
Yeah, sure is. And I started playing in the beta too, so that was a long time ago. I've almost put 4,000 hours into it though at this point. So after 13 years, so I think I got my money's worth from it.
Yeah, that's quite intense, quite good. Okay, good. Does that mean that no, Overwatch wouldn't be an indie game then, because that's being published by Activision Blizzard and made by a different studio? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I think if a studio has totally freedom of control without any external parties, or that the game doesn't come from a external party, you can say like, hey, you are a independent developer no matter your size. But yeah, it's
so Larian Studios would be an independent developer but not an indie game, where they don't make indie games, are they?
No.
I'm pretty excited for the what is it, Divinity Original Sin?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, just Divinity.
It's
like that.
Yeah, I mean, I played more Divinity Original Sin 2 than Baldur's Gate 3, so I'm very hyped that there's going to be a Divinity 3 or I don't know, Original
That
Sin
trailer
3.
was so gruesome. I loved it.
Yeah,
that's the vibe I look for in video games.
Yeah,
make me question my reality.
Yeah, the only thing I'm afraid of is that they sort of rumors and things. It's like, oh, it's bigger than Baldur's Gate 3, and that kind of scares me, because I like my games smaller and more contained. And
yeah, this won't be that. It will be a very large game.
Yeah.
I think bigger than Baldur's Gate 3 maybe isn't the right word to use. Of course, I know nothing about development, so don't quote me on any of this. But what I did hear from an interview with the CEO, Sven, I think is his name, is that their goal is, one, to have more complexity than Baldur's Gate 3, and then two, to offer new experiences. So they've run into this weird development situation where they've got all these interesting ideas for stories for Divinity, but then they talk about, well, but we already did something like this in Baldur's Gate 3 or one of their previous games. Like, you can't do this again. It's the same shit. So that's the fact that they're talking about it in that way makes me very interested, because that tells me that they're on the right page.
I'm really liking these CRPG with like sandbox element, where you can do like a lot of crazy things and sort of push the engine in funny ways what's possible. And for me, it really, I also never finished Baldur's Gate 3 because, one, it was too big and it took way too long to get sort of to the fun combat thing, because in the beginning it's like very small and minor, and you sort of grow into it, and then it really expands, it becomes bigger the more levels you get. But with Divinity Original Sin 2, the skills were a little bit more ludicrous, and you reached that point a little bit earlier, I think. Yeah.
If you're hankering for a new RPG to play, I might recommend Avalon Tainted Grail, I think is what it's called.
Avalon Tainted Grail?
Yeah, it's similar in style and type of gameplay to Skyrim, but of course it's not 15 years old like Skyrim is at this point. And it is much darker and more... Yeah, it doesn't hold your hand in the way that Skyrim does. But I had a lot of fun playing that, and it was very, very fun. That's what I played mostly instead of playing Expedition 33.
Is it as janky as Skyrim?
No, which I think is a good thing. It has its own engine, and thank heavens it does, because the creation engine, I think what Skyrim runs on, is garbage. It was great 15 years ago, but to Anders' point, it is insane. It is full of insane exploits and fun glitches, but it's not to the point where they break your game. It is, you can enjoy the shenanigans from it, as opposed to getting frustrated at the engine ruining your fun.
I never get frustrated with a Bethesda game. I see them as sort of core part of the experience where you have like a weird glitch where you talk to the NPC and all of a sudden like it just ragdolls away
like
across
upside
the map.
down and flying. Yeah.
That's sort of part of the charm, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, Scott Nash has it there. It's Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. It's quite good.
It's expensive.
I enjoyed it.
It's expensive for an indie game.
I don't know if it's indie. I have no idea. But I think I played it fully and completely, and I took my time with it, and I think I put 50, 60 hours into it. So it was a legitimate experience for that.
That's a nice timing for. That's a nice timing for a game. Yeah. You know what I'm waiting for? I can be bothered by getting a PlayStation 5, but I can't wait for Death Stranding 2 to be on the PC. Does anybody know when it comes out on PC? Tell me, please.
The Mailman Simulator?
Yes.
That game doesn't interest me at all.
No?
At least the first one didn't. I saw a friend of mine playing it, and I watched the stream for a while, and he was just like delivering Amazon packages. It looked terrible.
It's fantastic. It's like I pretend keyboards are there. I'm like, oh, you get a keyboard, you get an 8HE, you get a 6HE, you get this unannounced product, you get this. You don't get it. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, good. Yes. Thanks everybody.
Well, I think we've been yapping for long enough now. It's about time to end the stream.
Let me
a couple of reports to finish up here before the end of the day.
Let me quickly check if we went through the list. Yes, we went through the whole list.
Wait, there was actually a list?
Yeah. It's like we talk about dance, first impressions of the 60 GV2, and we wish everybody a warm and welcome 2026. And we did.
Okay.
We did it. Not per se in that order, but yeah. Anyway, stay tuned. Next couple of weeks, keep an eye on socials. Follow Tens for more information about the Wooting 8HE Tens takeover. And happy
2026.
Happy 2026 and happy weekend. And I'll
Woo, Friday.
Yay, Friday. Hey, Friday. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.